Welcome to the Teresa Harding Podcast, where you will learn from one of the top leaders in the network marketing industry. Teresa Harding has grown her team to over millions of people. She's grown online and she's grown offline, and now she's ready to show you the secrets. So get ready to change the way you think. She truly cares about the success of her team and the people that she teaches. So get ready to learn the tips, tricks, and secrets that will allow you to grow a successful business in the 21st century.
I'm Teresa Harding, and this is the Teresa Harding Podcast. This podcast is for people who know that this industry is not about the network marketer anymore. It's about the people we serve and the change we can make in other people's lives. It's about the entrepreneur inside of each of us who's trying to find our voice. It's for the people who want to change the world and are looking for the most powerful way to make that happen. Welcome back. We are back today continuing the series that we've been having on how to do your Help 100 list. We've talked about some offline stuff. We've talked about some online stuff. If you want to catch up with what we're doing today, then go listen to the last few episodes, because I go into a lot more detail about each step of the process. And I even talk to those of you who hate making a list, you hate the idea of a list. So go back and check that out. Today, what I'm talking about is what happens in your mind when you make your list, because there is a powerful thing that's beyond psychological. Well, I guess it's all partly psychological, because what happens when you create something that is psychological in your mind all of a sudden can go to automatic. It doesn't have to be that you're focusing on it, thinking about it, trying to make it happen. So the beauty of that is it works for things that you want to have happen, the things that you really want to work on and do better in your business, but it also works the other way. So if there are things that you're doing, if you're not taking control of the way your mind is working, then what happens is the automatic things that your brain will be helping you to do or not to do are exactly what you don't want in your life. So let me see if I can explain this in a way that makes sense. Your brain is taking in millions of pieces of information every single day. Every day, every sight, every sound, every smell, all of the things that you are exposed to, your brain takes that in and it puts it somewhere in your brain. Your brain is categorizing it. Now, if it has no way to categorize it, or there's no plan in your brain will just randomly categorize it the way that your brain automatically wants to. And that will be based on your experiences, the things you've been taught, the things you believe, even limiting beliefs, all of those things. So your brain will automatically categorize those things as valuable for this certain category. But as soon as you decide to focus on something, so for example, when you start making your list of people that you want to talk to, as soon as you make a list, their name is now on the list, and in your brain knows, okay, I am planning to talk to that person. Now that there's a focus, all of those millions of pieces of information that are coming into your brain will now categorize them differently, because there's a plan. When there's a plan, now, I got this piece of information and I can use it this way to help to help get the results that I'm looking for. So I'll try to think of a specific example. Let's say that I put someone's name on the list. I put my sister's name on the list because I want to share my product with her. I really believe that I have a health product. I believe it's going to help her. I know it's going to help her kids. I think she would love it. Okay? Just even if I put her name on the list and I'm not even thinking about it now, my mind has decided, I know I'm planning to talk to her. Now let's say I go to church, totally unrelated. I go to church and I'm sitting there and they're talking about maybe the way Heavenly Father talks to us. They're talking about the way God speaks to us and the way we hear things. And all of a sudden, your brain takes that information in where before it would have categorized it maybe as only spiritual, as only how I talk to God. But now that you've got this new focus, you're going to hear some information about communication, how to communicate better, and how people hear things, and how people take things in and maybe assume what you're saying or assume what you're meaning or whatever. You're going to take this new information about communication And it's not only going to categorize it in the spiritual department for you and your relationship with God, it is also going to categorize it in this different department where it's about how to communicate with people. Because, of course, you haven't talked to your sister for a reason. Maybe because you're worried, maybe because you don't know how to do it without being pressure. But now that you have this new piece of information about communication, your brain will categorize it to help you move toward this goal that you have. And think about that. That's one piece of information. If you're receiving millions of pieces of information every day, and it's not just about verbal, it's about someone's body language, or like you notice someone's body language and you think, oh, they didn't seem very interested in what I was saying. Your brain will categorize that into the normal departments that you would normally categorize that in automatically. But then it will also shove it over into this category where you're going to be talking to your sister. So all of a sudden, all this information, millions of pieces of information that before did not help you move toward having success in your business or having success in reaching out to these people, all of a sudden, all of this information, anything that's relevant, anything that could possibly apply is going to be directed toward that. So that when you do talk to your sister, or let's say you decide you're going to talk to her tonight, all of it will be geared toward that. Let's say you've just decided you're going to talk to her, but you don't know when. So what'll happen is as you get more and more information into your brain, it'll start to pile up this whole, almost like what do they call it at the end of your semester when you have to, your thesis. This will be sort of your thesis on how to approach your sister. So it's going to get you ready and give you information, help you realize how you could do it better. I am telling you guys, this is extremely powerful because we are bringing information into our brain all the time. I don't care if you're putting a name on a list. I don't care if you make a goal. I don't care if you decide what your 5-year life plan is. I don't care if you decide you're going to be nicer to your spouse. Anything. That's why they say writing down a goal changes everything. They can't always explain why, but they've done tons of studies, and the studies prove that if you write down your goal, the percentage chance of it actually happening becomes way, way higher. This is part of the reason. It's because of what happens in your brain when you refocus, when you establish a specific focus, then your mind all of a sudden starts to figure out a way to make that happen. When you decide, I am going on my dream trip to Russia, I am going on my dream trip to the Netherlands, wherever, whatever, you decide what you're going to do, and I'm telling you, your brain is going to make it happen. Have you ever been around people who it feels like everything goes right for them? It always seems like no matter what they do, it's like one good thing after another. They always seem to find the good thing. I'll tell you what, they have just as many bad things happen to them, but they don't even think about those that much. If it's major, they'll take some time on it. And I have been in those modes in my life where negative things don't even faze me. I am just focused on my goal. I know what my goal is. And of course, stumbling blocks will come, but the stumbling blocks come and it's almost just a nuisance. It's like you're in the way. I know what my goal is and I'm geared toward that goal that's ahead of me. So those things just pop out of the way because my focus stays the same. Well, if you are able to maintain that focus, if I'm right about what I'm saying about your brain, can you imagine why these people always seem to have good things happen to them? Because it doesn't matter what bad things happen. They stay focused on the goal. They might hurt or go through anguish or pain or be damaged by the hard things they go through, but they don't forget the focus. They still have that goal in their mind and in their heart. And it's written, they know what they want. So I want you to start paying attention to this. I want you to write your list. I'm telling you, just writing the names down. That is creating a commitment in your brain that says, I know I need to talk to these people. You might even be still a little bit skeptical about the list or a lot skeptical, thinking, okay, I never wanted to make a list. I'm doing this because Teresa's telling me to do it and this is private and nobody knows I'm doing it. So you might still be in the very skeptical phase. I don't care. Write it down and things will start to change. And you will start to notice. I want you to pay attention to the thoughts and ideas you have. It's because your brain now, all the pieces of information coming in are helping you have thoughts and ideas about how you can attain the goal or the result that you are thinking about. So hopefully that will help. It's a pretty powerful concept that I shared with you today. Enjoy it, pay attention to it, and I would love to hear your comments on ways that you utilize this tool and how you notice different things in your brain. If you've never paid attention to this before, I want to hear what you start to notice now that you're paying attention. So we'd love to hear from you, and I will see you guys in the next podcast. Bye.